Ich habe geschaut, dass ich so viel wie möglich.
I have made sure that I plant as many hedges as possible on my field, so that we can create a biotope network, that the natural diversity is not only present on one field, but on many fields. If many farmers do that like I do, that they put out as much as possible, then we bring together a biotope network in the whole place. That is very, very important. That is the crucial thing, so that the biodiversity is created again.
Besonders hier bei uns im nördlichen Tullner Feld.
Especially here in the northern Tullner Feld, the area is sometimes poor in structure. And there is the multifunctional hedge, the multi-use hedge, which has been placed here for a reason, which is very important and which is the central element to bring in some structure. The central element is also to get a biotope network, and we have started here. We have created 1.3 kilometers of multi-use hedges starting from the village Upstorf, combined by flowering areas, and that is the first step to get into a biotope network. This is really important in order to structure the landscape accordingly. Here at Grand Farm we want to utilize and protect at the same time. Protect biodiversity, bees, insects, provide food and habitat, and at the same time also use our land sensibly by producing food. In this case, in this mixed sowing, we produce lentils together with barley and camelina, which is sown together, harvested together, and then the crop is separated. That is, it is separated and I can then market each individual crop. The important thing is that it is also a research project on the one hand and an adaptation to climate change on the other. Because depending on the weather, if it gets hot and dry, then the lentil will develop superior, and if the temperatures are cooler, the other two crops will develop better. So we are trying to be fit for the future, to be sustainable and regenerative, and at the same time have benefit from the landscape, but also protect it. Grand Farm is part of the global lighthouse farming network, which is a global network where lighthouse farms are selected. Now there are only 12, but it is supposed to grow, to become bigger, and we are the only farm in Austria. What does it mean to be a lighthouse farm? It means that you allow research on the farm, on your own farm, that you let students work here, that you also participate in research, and that there is a lot of demonstration activity. And that is what we are trying to implement here at Grand Farm. And we hope that the topic of lighthouse farms and cooperation between science and research will once again be emphasized more strongly here also at Mission Soil, and will also be implemented strongly in Europe in the future.
Es ist natürlich schade, wenn so eine Mehrnutzungshecke einsam in der Gegend steht.
It is an insane pity if such a multi-use hedge stands alone in the area and is then perhaps even polluted by spray drift. It is important that these multi-use hedges represent cores from which the biodiversity in the landscape, in the region, can be developed again. Also by imitation, positive example, in that the neighboring farmers see if the hedge is well maintained, then it makes no damage for the neighboring arable land. And maybe then some discover it can also be very useful by reducing evaporation as a windbreak, by providing a habitat for beneficial insects. And these positive examples must also be recognized and shown. And that is the most important point with the now existing multi-use hedges, that they have an exemplary effect, also for the government and for the surrounding area.
Einzelne Landwirte sind Pioniere, so wie der Alfred Grant und der Franz Binder.
Some farmers are pioneers, like Alfred Grant and Franz Binder. They have planted multi-use hedges on their own land and enriched their landscape. Many farmers manage to structure the landscape and create a biotope network for living creatures and create added value for agriculture. Join in!